All right, everyone, welcome back to the deep dive.
Glad to be here.
So today we are taking a deep dive into how to sound more polished and confident when you speak English.
That sounds like something a lot of people would be interested in.
Yeah, especially when you're interacting, at work, in meetings, just in general conversations.
Right, it makes a huge difference.
Oh, absolutely. And we found a great YouTube video transcript from Speak English with Class.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those guys online. They're great.
They really are. And this video is called English Podcast for Learning English Talk, like this to sound confident English Leap podcast. It's a long title.
Kind of a mouthful, yeah.
Yeah, but it's full of actionable strategies that anyone can use to improve their English communication skills.
I'm interested to hear this because, it's not just about speaking proper English. It's also about the perception, right?
Exactly. It's about how you're perceived and also how confident you feel when you're speaking.
Yeah, sometimes those two go hand in hand.
Absolutely. So the first strategy they talk about in the video is proper greetings.
Oh, that's so important.
I know, right? It's like the first impression.
Exactly.
So they suggest moving away from casual greetings like, hey, or what's up, especially in professional settings.
Yeah, that's too casual for a work environment.
For sure, instead they recommend using more formal greetings like good morning, good afternoon, or hello, how are you today?
Those just sound so much more professional.
They do, and it shows respect, too.
Absolutely. And speaking of respect, they also talk about the importance of using titles and last names.
Oh, yeah, like Mr. or Miss.
Exactly. Unless someone specifically says, call me first name, it's always best to err on the side of formality.
It's just more polite, and it shows that you're taking the interaction seriously.
It's like you're acknowledging their position or seniority.
Right. It's a small detail, but it can make a big difference in how you're perceived.
Agreed. So what's the next strategy they talk about?
So the next one is all about concise language.
Oh, so being clear and to the point.
Exactly. Sometimes we think that using big words and long sentences makes us sound smarter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've definitely been guilty of that.
Yes. But actually, it can have the opposite effect.
Really?
Yeah, being wordy can actually make you sound less confident.
That's interesting. So how do we fix that?
Well, they give some great examples in the video, like instead of saying, in the event that it rains, we will postpone the meeting.
Okay, that's a mouthful.
Right. You can simply say, if it rains, we'll postpone the meeting.
So much simpler.
And it sounds more confident, too, because you're getting straight to the point.
It shows that you're not afraid to be direct.
Exactly. They also have an example about simplifying. For the purpose of improving our customer service, we are launching a new training program.
I can see where that could be shortened.
To improve our customer service, we are launching a new training program.
Much better.
Right. Cutting out all the unnecessary words makes a big difference.
I like that. And do they have any other examples like that?
Oh, yeah, they gave a bunch, but one more that stood out to me was changing. Due to the fact that she was late, the meeting started without her.
Oh, I use that one all the time.
Me too. It seems so formal and professional, but they suggest simply saying, because she was late, the meeting started without her.
Wow, that's so much more concise.
Right, and it gets the message across just as effectively.
It really does. So basically, being concise is all about using fewer words to say the same thing.
Precisely, and that projects confidence because it shows that you're in control of your language.
It's like you're not wasting anyone's time with unnecessary fluff.
Exactly. And that leads us to the third strategy, which is eliminating filler words.
Filler words, those are the worst.
I know, right? They can really undermine our credibility.
Like, all those little words that creep into our speech.
Yeah, we all use them sometimes, even if we don't realize it.
I know. It's like they just pop out.
But the problem is they make us sound hesitant and unsure of ourselves.
And that can make people question what we're saying.
Exactly. In the video, they even share a funny story about someone who was shocked when they heard a recording of themselves using like all the time.
Oh, I can relate to that.
Right. It's so easy to do without even noticing.
So how do we break this habit?
Well, one suggestion they give is to simply pause instead of using a filler word.
So just be silent.
It might feel awkward at first, but a brief silence can actually make you sound more thoughtful and confident.
It shows that you're taking a moment to gather your thoughts.
Exactly. And it gives your words more weight when you do speak.
That's a good tip. I'm going to try that.
Me too.
Yeah.
And they also talk about side particles, which are words like basically, technically, and actually.
What's wrong with those?
Well, they often don't add any real meaning to the sentence.
Oh, like they're just extra.
Exactly. They just kind of clutter up your speech.
And we want to avoid that, right?
Yeah, we want to sound clear and concise.
So should we just cut them out completely?
In most cases, yes. Like instead of saying, basically, we need to finish the report by Friday, you can just say, we need to finish the report by Friday.
You're right, that sounds much stronger.
It does, and it conveys the same message without any unnecessary fluff.
So it's all about choosing our words carefully.
Absolutely, and that brings us to the fourth strategy, which is using strong, assertive language.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
Me too. It's all about choosing words that project confidence and authority.
So not being afraid to be bold.
Exactly, and they give some great examples of how to do this. Like instead of saying, I think this is a good idea, you can say, I believe this is a great idea.
Wow, just changing a few words makes a huge difference.
It does, right? Believe sounds so much more confident than think.
And great is more powerful than good.
Exactly. They also suggest changing I was given an opportunity to I seized the opportunity.
Oh, that's good. It shows that you're proactive.
Right, it makes you sound like a go-getter.
And what about phrases like, maybe we could try this approach?
They suggest making it more decisive by saying, let's move forward with this approach.
I like that it shows that you're not afraid to take charge.
And instead of asking, does that make sense? Which can sound like you're unsure of yourself.
Yeah, I hate asking that.
Me too. It's better to say, let me know if you have any questions.
That sounds so much more professional.
It does, and it keeps the conversation open without making you sound insecure.
Do they have any other tips for strong language?
Oh, yeah. One more that I loved is changing, I hope this helps, to I'm confident this will help.
Oh, that's powerful.
It is, right? It shows that you believe in what you're saying.
And that can be really persuasive.
For sure. So it's all about being assertive without being aggressive.
So we're not trying to be bullies.
No, not at all. It's about being clear and confident in your communication.
Got it. So what's the next strategy?
All right, so number 5 is about removing unnecessary disclaimers.
What are disclaimers?
So those little phrases we add to our sentences that weaken our message.
Oh, like, this might sound silly, but...
Exactly, or you've probably already thought of this, but...
I do that all the time.
Me too. We think it makes us sound more humble or polite.
Yeah, I don't want to sound arrogant.
But actually, it can have the opposite effect.
Really?
Yeah, it makes us sound less confident in our ideas.
I never thought of it that way.
So instead of saying, I'm not sure if this is a good idea, but maybe we could try.
Which I say all the time.
We all do. But they suggest just saying, I suggest we try.
That's so much more direct.
It is, and it shows that you believe in your idea.
What about questions like, this may be a dumb question, but...
Oh, yeah. Instead of that, just ask, can you clarify this for me?
Okay, that sounds much more professional.
It does. And it shows that you're not afraid to ask for help.
So basically, we should own our ideas and questions.
Exactly. Don't apologize for having something to contribute.
I like that a lot.
All right, so strategy number 6 is all about giving effective feedback.
Feedback is so important.
It is, but it can be tricky to give it in a way that's helpful and not hurtful.
For sure.
Yeah.
I've definitely received feedback that made me feel terrible.
Me too.
Yeah.
So the video talks about the importance of being constructive.
Meaning what?
Meaning that your feedback should focus on how the person can improve.
Not just telling them what they did wrong.
Exactly. So instead of saying, your work isn't good, right, it's much better to say, I think this could be improved by.
Okay, that's more specific.
And it gives them something to work with.
It's not just a blanket criticism.
Right. And instead of saying, you did this wrong,
which feels so accusatory.
try saying, I have a suggestion that might make this even better.
Oh, I like that.
It's more collaborative and encouraging.
It's like you're working together to find a solution.
Exactly. And they also talk about the sandwich approach to feedback.
What's that?
It's where you start with a positive comment, then give the feedback, then end with another positive comment.
Oh, so it's like a compliment sandwich.
Kind of, yeah. So for example, you could say, I really like how you structured this report. One area we could strengthen is by adding more detail in this particular section, but overall, I think you did a great job.
So you're cushioning the criticism with praise.
Exactly. It makes the feedback easier to swallow.
And it shows that you're not just trying to tear them down.
For sure. All right, so moving on to strategy number 7, which is asking professional questions.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, the way you ask questions can really impact how you're perceived.
I can see that.
So instead of saying, I don't get it.
Which sounds so clueless.
Right. Try saying something like, excuse me, may I ask?
Okay, that's much more polite.
And it shows that you're engaged in the conversation.
And what about if you need something explained again?
Instead of saying, can you explain that again? Try. I was wondering if you could clarify.
Oh, that's clever.
It sounds more thoughtful and less demanding.
It shows that you're really trying to understand.
Exactly. And one more tip is to avoid vague questions like, what do you mean?
Yeah, this can be frustrating.
Instead, try something more specific, like, could you elaborate on that?
That gives them more direction.
And it shows that you're paying attention to the details.
So asking good questions is all about being clear, concise, and respectful,
Precisely, and it shows that you're taking the conversation seriously.
which is important in any professional setting.
All right, so the final strategy we're going to talk about today is professional closings.
So how to end a conversation on a good note?
Exactly, just like greetings, closings are important for making a positive impression.
Makes sense.
So instead of just saying, okay, bye,
Which sounds so abrupt.
right, try using a more thoughtful closing like, thank you for your time and valuable insights.
That's nice.
Or you could say, I appreciate the opportunity to discuss this with you.
It shows that you value their input.
Exactly. And if there are any next steps, it's important to be clear about those.
So don't just say, I'll follow up.
Right. Instead, say something like, I'll send you an update by Friday.
That's much more specific.
And it shows that you're organized and reliable.
And it leaves them with a clear expectation.
Finally, it's always good to invite future communication.
So not just talk later.
Right. Instead, say, please feel free to reach out if you have any further questions.
That's a good one.
It keeps the door open for future interactions.
And it shows that you're available and willing to help.
Exactly. So that wraps up the 8 strategies from the video.
That was a lot of great information.
It was, and I think it's really helpful for anyone who wants to improve their English communication skills.
For sure. And it's all about making small changes that can have a big impact.
Absolutely. And if you want to learn more, be sure to check out the full video on the Speak English with Class channel.
We'll put a link in the show notes.
So to wrap up our deep dive today, I want to leave you with a thought.
Okay.
Think about 1 or 2 of these strategies that really resonated with you.
Right.
And in your next English conversation, try to consciously implement them.
I'm going to try that with the filler words.
Me too. I think I need to work on being more concise.
I think we can all benefit from these strategies.
I agree. And as you practice them, notice how they impact the interaction and your own confidence.
It's all about continuous improvement.
It is. And who knows, maybe this will inspire you to explore other aspects of confident communication.
The possibilities are endless.
They really are. Thanks for joining us today.
It was my pleasure.
And until next time, happy learning.
See you then.
Bye. Bye.